Hi everyone, my name is Gautam Gupta and I want to welcome you all to my YouTube channel, Universal Fundamentals. In this video, I'm going to continue my series on the 2025 Vedic Astrology yearly predictions for all the 12 ascendants and moon signs and how these planetary transits will be affecting you based on your ascendant and or moon sign. In this video, I will exclusively be talking about Pisces ascendants and moon signs. Now, like I have said before, 2025 is going to be a monumental year because all of the slower moving planets will be changing signs at some point in 2025. And this is going to bring huge changes to everyone's life depending on what your ascendant and or moon sign are. And when I talk about the slower moving planets, I am talking about the nodes Rahu and Ketu, Jupiter, as well as Saturn. All of these planets will be changing signs in the coming year of 2025. And in fact, Jupiter will travel through 3 signs as it will be moving pretty quickly in 2025. Now, before I begin this discussion in detail, I do want to remind everyone to please check out my website, universal-fundamentals.com, where you can learn more about me and what I do as a Vedic astrologer. You can also check out the various services that I offer, and I will be leaving links down below so you all can check that out in more detail. I also want to remind everyone that I do practice sidereal Vedic astrology and not Western tropical astrology. Also, if you find this video to be helpful and useful, please give it a thumbs up by hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel. Doing so will really help me out with the YouTube algorithm so this video can reach a vast audience. So with that being said, I will now begin discussing how all of these planetary transits will affect a Pisces ascendant and or moon sign for the year 2025. So the first important transit I want to start discussing for a Pisces ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Saturn will continue to remain in your 12th house of Aquarius until March 29th of 2025. And this tells me that you will finally come to a closure regarding some of the issues from your past that have been bothering you. And this will feel satisfying and liberating. You will also continue to explore your spiritual makeup, and this will help you connect with yourself and others on a deeper level. Now, with Saturn's third aspect to your second house, this does tell me that you will continue to put in a lot of effort to maintain your financial situation and family matters. But as long as you have remained diligent and careful, then your hard work will pay off nicely. I do see some resolution occurring in this area. Saturn is leaving the sign of Aquarius. And with Saturn's seventh aspect to your sixth house, this tells me that coworkers, employees, and your health will continue to remain an issue. But I do think at this point, you will start coming into resolution regarding any conflicts that you may have faced while Saturn was in Aquarius. And these resolutions will help you grow and understand the importance of having the right dynamics with your coworkers and employees. This will also teach you the value of having good health. And finally, with Saturn's 10th aspect to your ninth house, this tells me that you will be wrapping up any karmic obligations that you were dealing with related to your father, teachers, and higher education pursuits. You will start seeing that your hard work and patience pay off in these areas, and you will find some closure and resolution as well. Now, normally, Saturn's 10th aspect indicates challenges to that particular house. However, because transiting Jupiter in Taurus is also aspecting the ninth house, this is creating a point of manifestation. So therefore, you will continue to have opportunities to flourish in your ninth house matters when it comes to your father, teachers, higher education learning, spirituality, and long distance traveling. This point of manifestation in your ninth house of Scorpio will continue until March 29th of 2025, which is when Saturn transits into the sign of Pisces. Now, the next important transit I want to discuss for a Pisces ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Jupiter will continue to remain in your third house of Taurus until May 14th of 2025. And a very important event that is occurring on February 4th of 2025 is that transiting Jupiter will be turning direct 17 degrees of Taurus. So if you happen to have a planet that is around 14 to 20 degrees of Taurus, Virgo, Scorpio, and or Capricorn, then you are going to have many blessings and success due to any opportunities you may have seized during the first 2 weeks of July 2024. This will be incredible for things related to your social media projects, short stories, articles, as well as improvement in your relationships with your neighbors and or a younger sibling. This will also open up several opportunities for short distance traveling. This will also be beneficial for your seventh house matters, such as growth in your relationships with either your business partners and or employees. This will also be great for your ninth house matters, such as connecting with your fathers and teachers. You will also make considerable progress in your higher education courses, and you may even gain some great spiritual insights. You will also have opportunities to travel long distances as well. And this will also be great for your 11th house matters. You could receive a big bonus from your work, or you may connect with your older siblings, friends, and social network circles in a positive way. Now, another important transit I want to mention is that transiting Venus will be exalted in your first house of Pisces from January 27th of 2025 until May 30th of 2025. And while it is in the sign of Pisces, it will be forming a mutual exchange with transiting Jupiter, which is in your third house of Taurus, up until May 14th of 2025. Now, the reason why I want to talk about Venus being in Pisces is because this is going to be a special transit. Venus normally stays in one sign for about a month, but this time it will be staying in the sign of Pisces for about 4 months, which is due to the fact that transiting Venus will be turning retrograde from March 2nd of 2025 until April 14th of 2025. And while Venus remains direct in your first house, this will give you an incredible sense of self-confidence. You will feel a lot more sociable and friendly towards other people, and this is going to allow you to build strong connections. You may even think about changing your wardrobe and physical appearance at this time, and with the and with the appropriate actions, this can actually help boost your overall look and demeanor. I also see that you'll be able to express yourself quite clearly and articulately, which can help address any needs that you have. Now, one thing you have to be aware of is that Venus will turn retrograde from March 2nd of 2025 until April 14th of 2025. And this will be a transit where you have to exercise caution and care. You will have to be extremely careful with how you express yourself to other people, as your communication style might be misunderstood at this time. Also, while Venus is retrograde, please try to avoid making any drastic changes regarding to your physical appearance. Try to wait until Venus turns direct before doing anything major. Now, while Venus is going to be in your first house of Pisces, it will be conjunct with Rahu in your first house, and Ketu will be in your seventh house of Virgo until May 29th of 2025. And this transit may cause some temporary confusion about some personal decisions you may be faced with. And it will be important to think things through very carefully so that you don't do anything you regret. You may also feel a general sense of frustration as some of the things may not be going the way you want. And all of this will actually start occurring after March 29th of 2025, and this is when transiting Saturn will also join Rahu in your first house of Pisces. And this is going to really change things to a completely different level. Now, the reason why you may feel frustrated at this time is because Rahu is a planet that wants things now, and Saturn is a planet that restricts and delays. But the good news is that once Rahu separates from the sign of Pisces after May 29th of 2025, you will have a much easier time dealing with some of life's general difficulties. However, you may feel as if you have a heavy load of responsibilities, duties, and commitments that you have to tend throughout this transit. So it will be important to manage these areas in a systematic way so that you don't feel burned out. This is also a transit where you have to take care of your health as well. Then with Ketu being in your seventh house until May 29th of 2025, and with Jupiter's fifth aspect to your seventh house of Virgo, this tells me that you will develop a great spiritual connection with your business partners and or significant other. You will understand each other from a deeper level, and you will be able to relate to each other's perspective a whole lot better. Now, with Saturn's third aspect to your third house, This tells me that you will be putting in a lot of effort to maintain your relationships with either your younger siblings and or neighbors. You will have to work harder to understand where they come from, but this will help you form a better connection in the long run. You will also need to work harder if you plan to work on any short stories, articles, and or social media projects. But while Jupiter is in the third house until May 14th of 2025, I do see a certain amount of protection and growth related to these areas, and this will be due to the fact that Saturn's third aspect to your third house and Jupiter transiting the third house of Taurus until May 14th of 2025 is providing a point of manifestation. So I do think just for that time frame, you will be protected when it comes to navigating dynamics with your younger siblings, neighbors, short stories, articles, and or social media projects. However, once Jupiter leaves the sign of Taurus, then you will have to be extremely careful when it comes to these third house areas because your hard work will be the key in determining these results. Then, with Saturn's seventh aspect to your seventh house, this tells me that you will be focusing your attention on your relationships with your business partners and or significant others. However, realize that there can be some delays when it comes to progress in these areas. You will have to exercise patience and open communication so that you both can come from a place of understanding. Now, the good news is that up until May 14th of 2025, Jupiter will also cast its fifth aspect to your seventh house. So you will have a good amount of protection and stability when it comes to your relationships with business partners and or significant others. However, once transiting Jupiter leaves the sign of Taurus after May 14th of 2025, you will have to be extra careful when it comes to these areas. Just be mentally and emotionally prepared to put in the hard work in your relationships. Then, finally, with Saturn's 10th aspect to your 10th house, this tells me that there could be some karmic obligations that you may have towards your career, social standing, reputation, and fame. So I do think you will be focusing a lot of your time on this area. Now, the good news is that after May 14th of 2025, transiting Jupiter will enter the sign of Gemini, which is in your fourth house, and it will cast its seventh aspect to your 10th house of Sagittarius, and this will create a point of manifestation. So while transiting Jupiter is in the sign of Gemini, this will actually give you great opportunities for growth and prosperity in your career and workspace. Now, one thing I do want to mention about the Saturn transit in Pisces is that the Rahu and Saturn conjunction in the sign of Pisces will last from March 29th of 2025 until May 29th of 2025. Then after May 29th of 2025, transiting Saturn will remain in the sign of Pisces up until June 2nd of 2027. And then it will return back to the sign of Pisces from October 20th of 2027, and it will stay in the sign of Pisces until February 22nd of 2028. Now, the next important transit I want to talk about is that transiting Jupiter will enter your fourth house of Gemini on May 15th of 2025, and it will go through the entire sign of Gemini throughout the next 5 months. So after October 18th of 2025, transiting Jupiter will briefly enter your fifth house of Cancer, but it will return back into the sign of Gemini on December 5th of 2025, and it will remain in your fourth house of Gemini until June 1st of 2026. And while Jupiter is in your fourth house of Gemini, this is going to open up many opportunities to connect with your mother. You may have a lot of family gatherings, and this will give you chances to become closer than before. This is also a great transit for expanding your current property or even moving into a new property. You may be looking for new homes, and this transit can definitely help speed up the process. This is also great for buying a new car if that's what you need. Now, with Jupiter's fifth aspect to your eighth house, this tells me that you will have opportunities to connect with your in laws if you're married. And there can be potential for expansion in your joint assets as well. This is also a great transit to get involved in any metaphysical or occult sciences. But if those do not interest you, then psychology can be a great alternative. There is also great potential for obtaining unearned wealth, either through an inheritance or settlement. Then, with Jupiter's seventh aspect to your 10th house, This tells me that career opportunities will open up for you very nicely. You may even receive great recognition or even a promotion if you're currently employed. This will also be great for your reputation, fame, and social standing. And because Saturn in your first house of Pisces is casting its 10th aspect to your 10th house as well, this is providing a point of manifestation. So I think you'll be very well focused and disciplined throughout this transit, which will contribute to your success. And finally, with Jupiter's ninth aspect to your 12th house, this tells me that you will have many opportunities to travel internationally and learn about different cultures. And I think this will help you grow as a person and give you great experiences. This will also be great for your spiritual development and resolving past issues. Now, the next important transit I will be discussing for a Pisces ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Rahu will be going into your 12th house of Aquarius and transiting Ketu will be going into your 6th house of Leo starting on May 29th of 2025. And it's going to remain in these signs until November 24th of 2026. Now, with transiting Ketu into your 6th house of Leo, this tells me that health issues may come up during this 18th month window, and you will have to take proactive measures to address any of these issues. You may also have some sort of disconnect with your coworkers and or employees, so you will have to take a proactive approach when it comes to navigating any challenges. However, I do think you will be successful in doing so because of Jupiter's aspect to your 10th house. Now, with Ketu's fifth aspect to your 10th house, this tells me that you will actually take a much more spiritual approach when it comes to maintaining a career, social standing, fame, and reputation. And this will help cultivate a deeper understanding regarding your work's purpose, especially since Jupiter in Gemini is aspecting your 10th house as well until October 18th, 2025. Now, with Ketu's ninth aspect to your second house, this tells me that you will have to pay attention to your financial situation a little more closely. There could be some tendencies to overspend or be careless with your money, so make sure you do a good job tracking where all of your money is going. This is also a great transit where you need to be mindful of your communication and speech, as you may feel frustrated and agitated, which can cause you to speak your mind when you should be more careful. Then, with transiting Rahu into your 12th house of Aquarius, this tells me that a lot of past issues will be resurfacing for you again, and you will have to continue to address these issues in a very tactful and reasonable manner. Now, the reason why I'm telling you that past issues will be resurfacing again is because up until March 29th of 2025, transiting Saturn was in your 12th house of Aquarius, and from then until May 29th of 2025, you kind of were having a break because neither Rahu nor Saturn were in your 12th house. But because Rahu is going to be transiting your 12th house, be aware that you still have some soul searching to do before you can really move on. This is also a transit where you have to do a good job when it comes to controlling your expenses, as you may be tempted to spend more money. This is also a transit where you have to take care of your sleep habits, and please try to avoid any dark or crowded places. There can be some uncertainty around this area, so it is better to be safe than sorry. Also, if possible, try to avoid traveling internationally, but if you must do so, please make sure you prioritize your financial situation, but more importantly, your safety. Now, another important aspect about this transit is that while Jupiter is transiting your fourth house of Gemini, transiting Rahu in your 12th house, will be casting its fifth aspect, transiting Jupiter in your fourth house, and in return, transiting Jupiter will cast its ninth aspect to your 12th house of Aquarius, forming a mutual aspect. And they will both be aspecting your eighth house of occult, mysticism, in laws, joint assets, as well as any inheritance or unearned wealth. This means that there are going to be several opportunities for growth and expansion when it comes to these areas. So keep all of this in mind as you go through this transit. Now, the final transit I want to discuss for a Pisces ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Jupiter will briefly enter your fifth house of Cancer from October 18th of 2025 up until December 5th of 2025. and it will turn retrograde on November 11th of 2025 at just under 1 degree of Cancer. So while Jupiter is transiting your fifth house during this short window of time, this is actually going to give you a preview as to what to expect when transiting Jupiter officially enters your fifth house of Cancer again later in 2026. So I want you to really pay attention to the events that do happen over the course of these 6 weeks, because you will end up receiving the blessings and opportunities of these events in the summer of 2026 when Jupiter officially enters the sign of Cancer. So when Jupiter enters your fifth house of Cancer for these 6 weeks, you may be thinking about forming connections with your children. And the connections that you form with your children during this window of time will continue to blossom throughout the year of 2026 when Jupiter goes back into Cancer. You may even think about putting your money into some type of speculative investment, such as the stock market. Then once Jupiter re-enters the sign of Cancer in the summer of 2026, you will be able to successfully execute these plans and possibly make a lot of money in your investments. Now, with Jupiter's fifth aspect to your ninth house, this will give you a preview of the types of interactions and connections you may form with your father and teachers. Some of you may think about starting a higher education course, and you may use this time to research the courses that are of interest to you. And once Jupiter goes back into Cancer in 2026, you may end up officially enrolling in these courses, and I do think you will learn a lot. This will also give you opportunities to travel long distance and learn about spiritual topics. Then, with Jupiter's seventh aspect to your 11th house, this will give you a preview of the types of connections you will form with any social network groups, friends, and or older siblings. You may even have opportunities to attend networking events and meet a lot of influential people who will have your best interests at heart. And finally, Jupiter's ninth aspect to your first house, this is going to give you an extraordinary sense of self-confidence and optimism. Even though Saturn will be transiting your first house, you will start to have a sense of direction as to where your life is going. And this will make it easier for handling any challenges that come your way. So this is what I wanted to cover, what's going to happen for a Pisces ascendant and or moon sign for the year 2025. I hope you guys got something out of this. Once again, if you found this video to be helpful and useful, please give it a thumbs up by hitting the like button. Doing so will really help me out with the YouTube algorithm so this video can reach a vast audience. Also, if you're new to my channel and would like to see similar videos like this in the future, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on that bell notification. And if you would like to know more about me and what I do as a Vedic astrologer, please check out my website, universal-fundamentals.com. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.